Hi, I'm Bill McLaughlin, Editor-in-Chief of Furniture Today. Welcome to this week's edition of Frontline Friday. We have a full crew this week for you, just a reflection of all that's going on in the industry. As for me, I am quite in the middle of conference season as we're putting together our next conference coming up September 25th through 27th at Live, has an exclamation point, by Lowe's in Arlington, Texas. We hope you'll join us there. As part of our effort to create the content for that, I was speaking to Craig McAndrews, Executive Professor at the University of Houston's Bauer College of Business. And he shared an interesting statistic with me. He noted in some recent research that by the time consumers come into a store and actually engage with a sales associate today, due to the effect of digital marketing, they are often 60% down the path to a purchase, which has interesting implications for the furniture industry. If you think about the typical qualification experience and the way that people typically measure conversion rates, if someone comes into the store so far along in their purchase decision, taking them back to the beginning of that process could actually prove frustrating. So there's some significant implications there. We'll, of course, ask you to attend the conference to learn more about that. And also stay tuned to Furniture Today and FurnitureToday.com as we're going to talk about a lot of interesting new research and developments as it relates to the digital selling process. And now we're going to go around the table and find out what's going on all over the world. Mr. Russell, how are you?
Doing well, doing well. Speaking of all over the world, we've been talking a lot about global sourcing of late.
Wasn't that a great segue?
Yes, indeed. Indeed, thank you. So with that in mind, we've been reporting a lot on some of the sourcing shifts that have occurred largely due to the China tariff situation. Vietnam has been a big focus for us in our coverage. We've been talking to a lot of people about what's happening, and now we're making plans to go there ourselves, both myself and a videographer from Furniture Today in August. So we're going to be basically talking to some factories right now, setting up appointments, some major players, well familiar names. We'll kind of leave some of that for later.
We're tuning in later.
Yes, sir. And but we're excited about the trip. It's going to be very revealing. We're going to see as much as we can over about a week's time. And again, stay tuned.
And there is no truth to the rumor that we're going to put Tom in a container and let him experience what it feels like to be a piece of case goods.
Thank you.
No truth to that rumor.
Thank you.
Powell, what are you following this week?
We've been doing so much with tariffs and logistics and things like that. I've got to look at high-end leather, what's going on in that category. First, brown is down. I guess the new brown is shades of gray, charcoal. That's kind of the new kind of base color for most high-end leather. There's also some interesting stuff going on with color. Those range from pretty vibrant tones to more kind of organic, earthy feels. In upholstery in general, things are getting a little bit more contemporary and transitional. And at the high end, you still have clean lines, but still very plush, comfortable seating. Even some of the lower profile pieces that look like something out of the Cologne show are going to have that good, plush seating for American fannies. The detail in the pieces is not so much with rivets and nail heads, but interesting X stitching and some more subdued welts.
It's interesting to see gray moving into the upholstery category. As we're seeing in the case goods, the gray of the last few years has now started to kind of go back a little bit brown again. So it'll be interesting to follow that trend. So Ann, how about some tech talk?
Some tech talk. We've heard that sitting is the new smoking. And so I spoke this week with a former trauma surgeon who was experiencing back pain after sitting. So it took him 2 years, but he came up with a chair that he's calling the Core 360. And it's on like a little rocking motion, and so it forces you to have correct posture the entire time you're sitting in it. They're calling it active sitting. So it is interesting that it doesn't provide lumbar support, but it forces you to strengthen your core the entire time you're sitting subconsciously. So it's not an active sitting that you're doing the entire time.
That's what I want to do. I want to work while I'm sitting. I want sitting to be a chore. That sounds...
He wants the next generation to get used to that type of sitting, so he has created a website called buttonshares.org, and it has the design, and so he's inviting like shop classes and people that have CNC routers to download the design and create the chairs for students so that they can squirm, in school and get away with it.
Well, Next week, this time, I will be at the Home Furnishings Manufacturing Solutions Expo. Say that 5 times fast. And we will give you a report from that when we return. So till next week, I'm Bill McLaughlin at Furniture Today, wishing you good business.